Good evening and welcome to the October 27th council meeting. Members of the public were provided with the following methods to watch and or participate in this open meeting. You can attend in person at the North Dumfries Community Complex. You can attend electronically via Zoom to observe the meeting or to speak to an item on the agenda. You can watch the live stream by accessing the meeting on the Township YouTube page. And finally, written submitted comments to the Clerk's Division have been provided to council and members and form part of the public record. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge and thank everyone for joining us this meeting. We appreciate your participation. As we come together to serve the community, I ask that we create a welcoming and positive environment for everyone that includes respect. That we listen to each other with care, speak thoughtfully, and engage kindly with one another. Kindness, that we treat everyone, council, staff, and the public with respect and understanding and inclusion, that we embrace diverse perspectives and respect each other's opinions. Together we can make this meeting space one where respect, kindness, and inclusion are at the heart of everything we do. Behavior that's disrespectful, disruptive, aggressive, or intimidating will result in those individuals being asked to leave the meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and can I have approval of the agenda, please, Councilor Owens?
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Ostler, that council adopt the October 27, 2025 council meeting agenda as presented.
All those in favor? Carried, thank you. I'd now like to do the Indigenous acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the land on which we gather today is the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, and the Neutral people. We acknowledge the enduring presence of the Indigenous people with whom we share this land today, their achievements and their contributions to our community. We offer this acknowledgement as an act of reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples of Canada. And we as politicians and public figures have a unique privilege in that we get to touch base with others that the public doesn't. And what I've learned from many of the Indigenous people is that the most they want is respect. They want to be treated as inclusive and a part of our society, which they are. When we came to this country, they respected us. They allowed us to come here and they welcomed us, and we lost that. And as we're journeying back to the respect for all, we are soaring in bounds, and it's a wonderful thing to have happen. So let's pause and think about that for a minute. Thank you very much. Okay, is there any disclosure of opinion interest to General H. Seeing none. Adoption of council minutes, please, Councilor Rose.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Rowland, the council approved the following meeting minutes. Council meeting minutes dated October 14, 2025.
All those in favor? Carried, thank you. And now it is my privilege to welcome Patrick Gasping, President and CEO of Cambridge Memorial Hospital, and Lisa Short, President and CEO of Cambridge Memorial Hospital Foundation, providing an update on the work of the hospital and the impact of the community support. Patrick, Lisa, you're up.
Yeah.
So yeah, right back there, I was born.
Mayor Foxton, esteemed councillors, township staff, thank you for hosting us to provide an update on your hospital and the foundation. I am joined today by Lisa Short, President and CEO of the foundation. This evening, our goal is to show our appreciation for council's past support, share the impact that this has made on the hospital's ability to deliver, and speak a little bit about future needs and how we are positioning ourselves to provide the best care possible for your residents for years to come. In January, Cambridge Memorial Hospital officially opened the doors to the completely renovated patient care area. This was a major step forward in healthcare, and marked the completion of the largest healthcare investment in the history of Cambridge North Dumfries. This achievement would not have been possible without our champions, our dedicated staff, physicians and nurses who made the seamless transition to the new spaces, and of course, our generous donors who believed in the capital redevelopment and made it a reality for everyone in our community. I just want to draw your attention to some of those dignitaries in the front row, Mayor Foxton, of course, but more importantly, the group of 5-year-olds. Those were all children who were born in the hospital in 2020, the year Wing A opened. And we built that hospital for all of us, but we especially built that hospital for us, those children grow and need the services of the hospital. Please.
Thank you, Patrick. Oops, I guess I went the wrong way. Can happen. There we go. Thank you, Patrick. We're also here to celebrate and express our gratitude for your financial support. The Township of North Dumfries is an integral part of our donor family. We are grateful for an engaged previous and present council and for an investment of over $123,000, including a large investment of $100,000 for We Care CMH. Your support of CMH has spanned over 21 years, and for that, we're grateful. The township is honored by name on our new donor wall in the main lobby. Additionally, township donors helped to make history this January. 65 donor plaques installed in our new Wing B represented over $1.6 million in donor contributions to local healthcare. Our families, as families, individuals, and corporations came in to unveil their plaques, each one comes with a story. Witnessing these moments of impact and pride is very special and reminded me each time of the donors and community support that surrounds our hospital.
I must agree with Lisa that I always enjoy learning what motivates our donors to give and give again. And many of them have their own CMH experience to share with us. Patients continue to be the focus of our daily work. Nothing warms my heart more than receiving a letter from a patient that expresses appreciation to the hospital staff or a physician. Community feedback, including advice from our Patient Family Advisory Council, guides the work we do every day. And we do a lot of work. I don't need to remind you that the hospital is a 24/7 operation. These statistics about our hospital paint a picture of what's going on behind the walls. Having a larger building and more beds means more activity and more money invested in healthcare. Over 47,000 emergency visits, more than 127,000 diagnostic tests. These are obviously big numbers. I continue to be proud of the staff that serve the community. And serve the community you see indeed. CMH continues to be the hospital of choice for the residents of the township. Our emergency department and inpatient care are vital resources for the community, and we are proud to be there for the residents when they need us most. With the township's growing population and changing healthcare needs, it's important that we plan ahead. In the next few slides, I'll share some of CMH's priorities to ensure that we continue to provide the care North Dumfries relies on. No matter where patients reside, we continue to drive forward innovation and quality improvement in many areas. Our new facility helps, but it is our people, our tools, and our systems that allow us to stay responsive to changing and growing needs. Across CMH, we've made $23 million of new investments in services in almost every area, in obstetrics, in surgery, in intensive care, in emergency, mental health, the list goes on. We are also using innovation to lead service delivery and be a responsible corporate citizen. A couple of ways that we're doing that. We're trialing an AI ambient listening tool in our emergency department to support our physicians. We've made our operating rooms more greener by removing desflurane that's 25 times worse than carbon dioxide. And we are trialing a PPE recycling program. And we also have lots to be proud of. We were named by Forbes recently for one of the top 200 employers in Canada for our corporate culture. And we've achieved the Choosing Wisely Hospital Quality Improvement status, the 6th hospital in Canada to receive this, only 1 of 3 in Ontario, and only the only one west of Toronto. I'm also pleased to report that we're tracking well along our strategic plan. A few examples of that are under sustained financial health. Our ministry funding has come through for this year at 3% for us. This is good news. Many hospitals are experiencing financial challenges, and there is a requirement for hospitals to have a 3-year balancing plan if they're not projected to be balanced this year. We are. Under our increased joint work, we welcome back Dr. Kanakri as our Vice President of Medical Operations, Academic Affairs, and Health System Partnerships. Under Reimagining Community Health, we're hiring a team for our new hospital information system. About 13 people we're bringing on board to go live next year. Under Advanced Health Equity, just off the main lobby in the corridor joining Wing A and Wing B, we've installed 4 unique Indigenous art by 2 local artists. This is a small but important step in making all members of our community feel welcome and represented at your hospital. CMH remains your local hospital. Our skilled medical staff offer specialized services in many areas, including diagnostics, surgery, obstetrics, oncology, liver health, mental health, and others, so that you can receive leading care without leaving your community. Our hospital's most concentrated area of service are for Cambridge and North Dumfries residents. We also serve many who reside in Kitchener-Waterloo, Wellington, Woolwich, and as far away as Toronto or Perth Grey County. CMH collaborates with an extensive network of local and regional partners, including the Waterloo Regional Health Network, or WREN as it's called, to best serve our patients. Most recently, we're working with WREN to implement the same patient record software at CMH, allowing a more integrated patient experience in the region. We will continue to build robust partnerships to support care. As Mayor Foxton is aware, we are also working with WREN to present to Regional Council future healthcare needs of the entire region, well beyond 2035. This will include the local share plan for the new WREN, as well as any future redevelopments for CMH. This is essential as we be prepared to be 1 million ready.
And if I can interject, there was a motion by Chair Redmond to look at funding for the REN. And CEO, my question, and CEO McNeely and myself created a motion that said you have to include all the hospitals, including Cambridge, because the REN is going to take at least, what would you guess to me? CEO McNeely, how long would you say that bill's going to be? 30 years, 20 years?
It's at least 30+ years for whole build out.
And that 30-year time, CMH will also need funding for updating equipment. So we didn't want the region to only pay for one hospital that's at the top end of Waterloo that takes care of the other municipalities outside of Waterloo region. So we wanted to make that very clear that it had to be an equal share to the hospitals based on proportion. Thank you.
You, Mayor Foxton.
Thank you, Patrick. It has been certainly a milestone year for our foundation, celebrating the culmination of hard work and generosity that was realized during our capital redevelopment project. And of course, there is always more work to do. In June, we announced our new board chair, Tim Edwardly. Tim is a resident of North Dumfries and had already held tenure on the hospital board, as well as being a longstanding donor and fundraising volunteer. In addition to our hospital and foundation boards, we have a strong group of CMH ambassadors, like the folks pictured here, who help us build community engagement and support. As a foundation, we are in an excellent position to continue to build on our success. We presently, we're working on year 3 of our strategic plan. We have a clear vision and an experienced team. We are focused on relationships, storytelling, and innovation to inspire transformative giving in our community. As a foundation, we are focused on investing $5 million every year to bring new and replacement equipment to our hospital. Items like stretchers, vital signs monitors, ventilators, and replacement beds are essentials to keep healthcare close to home. We have launched equipment spotlights to profile items like ventilators and sterilizers to educate our community on priority needs. There is no doubt that equipment empowers our healthcare team and provides comfort and care to patients throughout their care journey. Examples of some of the equipment items purchased with donor support include chemo patient chairs for oncology, pictured here, lined up in the hallway not long ago, just prior to installation. An echocardiograph unit, several pieces of pharmacy equipment, a mammography machine, and a long list of other items. Some of the hospital's capital needs that we're working towards this year include OR tables, a sterilizer, and a replacement CT scanner. One way to reach these goals is through major gifts and major gift fundraising. We're thankful to the North Dumfries Township for inspiring a community that believes in strengthening local healthcare for future generations. From volunteers and residents raising over $2.6 million for the We Care CMH campaign, to many local families and businesses pledged to keep CMH future ready, we are proud of North Dumfries' commitment towards local healthcare. We're grateful that this council continues to help foster a culture that includes community giving. Another way that we raise funds for equipment is through our community appeals and signature events. We're building on our 37-year tradition of honoring loved ones through Trees of Caring donations and star sponsors. This year's Trees of Caring campaign features North Dumfries resident Robert Hines and his spiritual care colleagues. Although traditional methods of giving are important, we continue to reach new donors through online giving and social media engagement, utilizing our innovative data management approach. CMH Reveal is shaping up to be another exciting event this February, and this year we will be featuring a surprise country artist. Our many corporate sponsors are key to this event's success, in addition to generous individuals who raise their hands during our funded auction.
What's the goal this year?
Not quite set yet, but the goal looks to be, we hope to raise around $500,000. Last year we raised over that.
I heard,
so-
I couldn't make it, so I took this to a friend, but, oh, wow.
Well, it's February 27th,
I know,
2026,
I
so
got my
please mark your
calendar.
calendars. We also certainly tap into the powers of donors who go a long way to inspire others. Those are our third-party events and hosts. They host and those and as well as donor champions continue to grow each year. Those folks continue to grow each year. And here's a great picture. Thank you again for adding us to your agenda today. Community collaboration is key to the future of CMH, and that includes the township. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick and Lisa. Are there any questions or comments? Seeing none, I have the motion, Councilor Rowland, please.
Moved by myself, sent by Council Williams, that the presentation from Patrick Gaskin, President and CEO, Cambridge Memorial Hospital, and Lisa Short, President and CEO, Cambridge Memorial Hospital Foundation, be received with thanks. And the staff continue to work with the senior leadership of Cambridge Memorial Hospital to identify opportunities where the township may be able to assist hospital and furthering their objectives related to hospital equipment purchases, hospital program expansions, building rehabilitation, and renewal, or broader advocacy around the healthcare portfolio.
All those in favor? Carrie, thank you. If you do get a chance to go to Reveal on February 27th, it is a night to remember. It is a moment. And you can get a Lisa at CMH or at the foundation, and they'll send you the bill. Thanks. Thanks a lot, guys. You don't have to hang around, although it's a riveting night.
Is it?
I didn't say all of them. You requested items from the consent agenda. Anybody wish to lift anything? Seeing none, Councilor Austin, the motion, please.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Roman, that the following items, information items as listed on the October 27, 2025 consent agenda be received. 12.2.1, communications. A resolution received from the regional municipality of Waterloo regarding amending regulation 391/21. B, the resolution received from the municipality of Shunia regarding the Nords pilot program.
Excuse me, Councilor Austin, but there's an error on the motion. the numbers are incorrect. It is, what is the right numbers, please? 10.21 and, yeah, 10.22. Okay, so if you could just redo the numbers, please, thank you.
Instead of Philip. Right. So B, resolution received from municipality. B, resolution received from municipality of Shunia regarding the Nords pilot program. C, correspondence received from the Office of the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario regarding Elizabeth Doddswell's award for advancing democracy through education. And D, resolution received from the town of Plumpton, Wyoming regarding conservation fee freeze. 10.2.2 advisory committees. Heritage Advisory Committee meeting minutes dated September 16th, 2025.
All those in favor? Carrie, thank you. We are 11.3, is that 11.1, is it consent? 11 items to discussion. Not things of 11.1. Not 11.2? Yes. 11. Yeah. Okay, so 11.2.1, report number rec 31/2025. Trust Fund, Friends of the Air Library, Waterloo Regional Library, Air Branch 2022 deliverables and programs. Are there any questions from the public? Any questions from council? So Andrew, can you just clarify for me what exactly is going on here?
So, Madam Mayor, we were providing an update to Township Council on transactions associated with accessing the $3,000 allowance that was set up in the memorandum of understanding that we had negotiated with the Friends of the Air Library and the annual allocation to the region for delivery of services programs at the Air Branch. They've gone through a number of staffing changes, so there's been a lag. So we're reporting that there really hasn't been much activity. This year, they've got a limited project scope. So the monies aren't lost, they still stay in the reserve account. And they'll be tapped into in future years. So just bringing the reporting current. We're obligated to do that under the MOU with open session annually with Township Council.
Thank you, I just wanted to clarify that. All those, did we do all those in favor?
Would you read the motion?
Motion, yes, please, Councilor Rose.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Holloman, that rec report number 31/2025 be received for the purposes of information.
All those in favor? Carrie, thank you. (11.2.2) report number rec 32/2025, introduction of advertising opportunities in the stair risers, Dumfries Community Complex. Any questions from the public? Councilors, any questions? And so some of the examples you gave were that they were each step, and I thought, does anybody lose their position of where the step is? Like the one you gave was that the two in a row, and I thought you couldn't really see the step in between, and I wondered if they had any way of tripping us.
So, Madam Mayor, two items. We did speak with our colleagues in Woolwich, where this has occurred, and they've had no issues. Picture you actually see in that photo in the staff report was from the complex in Myra. The other is we're only proposing this on stairs where there is a handrail.
Perfect, thank you. Can I have the motion, please, Councilor Holloman?
Moved by myself, by Councilor Officer, that rec report number 32/2025 be received. The council endorses the addition of stair riser advertising opportunities at the North Dumfries Community Complex, the MDCC, at the main entry foyer for the upper and lower stairs. And that council approved a fee amendment to the recreation user fee Schedule A for the stair riser advertising fee, and that bylaw number 3595-25 being a bylaw to amend the 2025 fees and charges bylaw be enacted.
All those in favor? Carrie, thank you. Report number PD 69/2025 proposed street name, private condominium road for draft approval plan of subdivision file number 30 CDM 23301. Any questions from the public? Comments from council? Councilor Austin.
I just had a question about the requested name. Is that requested name pulled from a pool of names that we have, or is this a requested name that the owner of the development has come up with?
CO McNeil.
Mayor, through the Councilor Oster. This is one of a series of names that were put forward by the owner of the property. We did reach out to the region of Waterloo to see if this road and the others that were put forward have been were either utilized elsewhere in the region or were close proximity to a name established somewhere else in the region. This is the only name that met that testing, but to the specific of your question, this was put forward by the
Councilor Austin.
Okay, then, they want to call it Heritage Way. Is there any heritage relevance? Like I'm almost thinking a name like Heritage Way is kind of takes a lot of it away from the rest of it. And like you can't say Heritage something way, like Heritage Way kind of like takes everything away from heritage. And I'm wondering whether we should be keeping a name like Heritage Way available for somewhere in the region, sorry, in the township where the heritage is actually, it's a relevant name. And I'm not 100% familiar with that piece of property, but I don't think there's any heritage significance.
CO McNeil.
So Madam Mayor, through to Councilor Oster. This is a vacant block, so there are no residences or buildings on this parcel. The adjacent immediate neighborhood, if we look at Field Mitchell, which sort of frames the entry into this block. Those homes were built in the late 80s, early 90s. To the best of my knowledge, there is no original farmstead or equivalent in immediate proximity to this block.
Councilor Austin.
So would something like this not normally go back to our heritage committee if the name suggests heritage?
Councilor CO McNeil.
The policy doesn't require it to go back to the Heritage Advisory Committee. Certainly, committee provided input to Township Council. I think it was 3 years ago, and provided a roster of about 25 or 30 names, which we've gone through, for lack of a better term, the screening process with the region, and have protected a series of names in our inventory for use. For the most part, those are used in future public highways in our greenfield plans of subdivision.
I see where you're going. I think a Heritage Way should have heritage homes. Councilor Williams.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through you to staff, can we just use a road name from our inventory rather than this one? I'm not sure what the process is here.
CO McNeil.
So Madam Mayor, yes, council can go off the listing that has already gone through the screening process. And it's part of our pre-approved registry of available names. The road naming bylaw and the appendices, which has a listing of names that have not yet been utilized, has been previously shared with the owner.
Can we send a list again and say, would you pick some that, I'm assuming council's not comfortable with Heritage Way, but I don't know that. I need to know that first. Councilor Austin, are you comfortable with Heritage Way?
Not really.
Councilor Williams.
I'm with Councilor Austin. I don't know.
Councilor Bowman.
I agree, I'm not.
So if that's the case, I assume that we're gonna turn down this request. Let's read the motion, make sure it says that. So I assume that the councillor, FCM McNeely, geez, I keep demoting him.
So Madam Mayor, if you can call the motion, the movers and seconders. And if by majority council votes on the recommendation, then it's defeated. And staff can go back to the owner and say, council is not supportive of Heritage Way. And the general discussion around the horn this evening was that council wishes to reflect upon the names in our approved listing. And we would leave that with the owner to identify one or more of those possible names. And we would turn out the next council meeting with an update.
Thank you, C.L. McNeely. Just also reflect for us on our behalf that a name such as Heritage, we would hope we would have historical homes on it and give it a heritage feel. So that's, I think, one of the reasons why we are turning this down. But I'm not sure we're turning it down till the vote. Council Williams, please.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Osner, that PD report number 69-2025 be received. And that council assigns the following street name for the internal private condominium road identified in draft plan of condominium file number 30 CDM-23301 as Heritage Way. And that bylaw number 3597-25 being bylaw to name the future internal private condominium road with the lands legally described as BLK 66PL 1445 Township of North Dumfries be enacted.
All those in favor? All those opposed? That is defeated. Thank you.
So Madam Mayor, when we get to the bylaw section,
We'll have to make sure.
we will pull bylaw 3597-25, which is item 17.3.
Who's got that motion? Councillor Osner, you'll be reading that motion. You show, please, that this, there's two motions that you have to change. You show it, please. So, next is,
change that.
reporting the PD 18-2025 traffic safety review, Cameron Road. Is there any questions from the public? Any questions, Council?
Thank you, Madam. For you to staff. I was wondering about the new speed designation of 60 from 80 to 60. Whether was that something that would be my first question is this something that would we review? My second question is, would we also be providing supporting kind of methods to slow people down or recognize that this is now a 60 zone?
So Madam Mayor, generally speaking, on concession block roads like Cameron Road, you typically don't do speed humps or horizontal deflection. We don't have a defined road with curb and street lighting, and so certain features that would, let's say, like speed humps, can actually create a bit of a hazard just because it's so dark and you come up onto them. Certainly oversized signage with this posted speed at 60 could be an option. But that and occasional placing of our mobile speed signs. So if you're going over whatever the posted speed is, that would flash at you as a reminder that this section of road is down at 60 kilometers. That and enforcement by WRPS are going to be the most effective ways of dealing with a rural countryside road.
Councillor Austin.
So just to confirm, from reading the report, the average speed on that road was 6 kilometers over the speed limit.
At 86.
So Madam Mayor, through to Councillor Osner, yes, the speed study. So the posted speed today is 80 kilometers an hour.
Mhm.
The 85th percentile, which 85% of the vehicles, we're traveling at approximately 86 kilometers an hour. So in the context of the posted speed, speeding really isn't an issue. What the consultant has said, however, is given the narrow platform of the road, given the undulating topography and the fact that in some cases oncoming vehicles are actually hidden by the subtle low points along the road, they're suggesting that actually we should be reducing the speed to 60 kilometers. So in that case, we have a traveled speed of closer to 86. When they're recommending by the geometry of the road, we should be actually traveling at 60 kilometers an hour.
Councillor Austin.
Okay, I've traveled the road frequently, so I'm familiar with the road. My question is, like, why we need to move it to 60 kilometers an hour? Have we had a lot of accidents on that road, or, because I can't recall.
CEO hearing.
So, Madam Mayor, the genesis of the traffic safety review came out of a consideration of a staff report associated with a development proposal to the immediate north of the intersection of New Dundee Cameron Road within the boundaries of the city of Cambridge. And our initial review identified a significant amount of commuter traffic that was largely migrating southerly to try and tie into the Cedar Creek Highway 401 interchange. The data that we collected through this traffic safety review actually demonstrated that we are heavily influenced by commuter traffic, generally coming out of Kitchener and heading south and then making the return trip at the end of the business day. We've got over 1,500 vehicle movements in this rural countryside road. So they're concerned about the conflict of the limited number of homes that front onto this road, but also the commingled with farm equipment that uses this to access farm lands, either adjacent to Cameron Road or traveling using Cameron Road to other agricultural holdings, either further down on New Dundee Road or along the Roseville corridor to the south. So it's more of that aspect. And when we had that staff report, council may recall there were 4 or 5 area residents that raised concerns about road safety. They talked about near misses and how they felt it unsafe to either get off their properties onto this traveled road and or negotiating along this road corridor, specifically in their agricultural vehicles and the potential conflicts. The study that was undertaken sort of reaffirmed some of the comments that we heard from the residents arising from their response to that staff report associated with that South Kitchener development.
Yes, in fact, and Councillor Ashley, that Kitchener development's huge. The biggest thing was that apartment building, right? How many were in that apartment building?
So I'm not too sure specifically to the apartment block. It was just one parcel on the larger holding, but it was an increase of over 1,500 units approximate from what had been historically approved for that emerging urban area. So we were trying to get out in front of the issue as it exists today, but recognizing that development is occurring within the city of Kitchener along the New Dundee Road corridor, just the increasing traffic that's forecast for future years based on that urbanization within Southwest Kitchener.
And the thing is, the feeding road out of that new subdivision is going to be Cameron Road. They're going to come straight up onto Cameron, and it's going to be massive. And so if we don't get ahead of it and plan now, I'm going to be looking at a disaster in the road. Councillor Austin.
No, I agree to an extent. I think that if it's an issue, if it's a raised issue with the residents, if it's a safety issue, if we think it's going to be a safety issue moving forward, that's fine. Like I would just, Because at 6 kilometers over, I don't think, police officer would stop a car. But, I mean, it's been 80 kilometers for probably, 50 years? And I understand that it's getting busier now. And as long as, you know, the residents feel that it's an issue, I just don't, I want to change it to 60 just because the study says it should be 60 because similar likewise roads in the region are 60. To me, I'm just worried that's gonna be a cash grab because people are gonna still think it's 80 and it's 60, and that's gonna be a juicy place to stay. I don't want it to appear that way to our residents. So if it is a safety issue and we do have more development in the north and the residents feel that that would be a safer way to do it, then yeah, it's worth the taxpayer money to fix fix everything that the report suggests we fix. As long as that's where we are right now.
Councillor Bowman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So further to Councilor Oster's talking about, I'm just trying to wrap my head around our policy. So currently, township rural roads are 80 kilometers an hour. But it seems like we're moving a lot of to 60. So if it's our policy now to move all the rural roads to 60, but meanwhile in the villages where I feel it's more of a risk, we're still at 50. So are we going to move the villages down to 40? Because last time I talked about that at council, I was told that's not important because people will drive 40 on those little roads because they're smaller roads. And now we're trying to reduce the speed on these rural roads that are really roads, as Councilor Oster said, that will drive 86 kilometers an hour on. Now we're going to try and lower those artificially to 60. What kind of problems are we creating here? And I just feel that with a lot of these country roads, there's not a lot of people walking on them, there's not a lot of houses on them. We're making a speed limit of 60 kilometers an hour. Meanwhile, in the villages, we're fighting over 50 or 40, or I'm just trying to get a sense of where our policy is going. Maybe staff can comment.
CEO.
So Madam Mayor, through to Councillor Rowland, we haven't taken a universal position. We've done an independent third-party review by a qualified traffic safety engineering firm to assess appropriate lengths of road. And in this circumstance, unique to this section of road, given its narrow platform, the high volumes of traffic, potential conflicts with driveway or field entrances that access into it, or perhaps more importantly, the undulating topography. They are of the opinion that this road warrants a 60 kilometer an hour posted speed, so that there is the appropriate travel speed in this section of road, recognizing all of those influencing factors. We're not suggesting universally across the rural countryside that the various concession roads warrant that 60 kilometer an hour speed. In this case, it did recommend that. We have other sections of rural countryside road that are 80 kilometers an hour and function appropriately at 80 kilometers an hour.
Councillor Williams.
Yeah, so I know we've gone ahead and we've done a number of these where we moved them to 60 kilometers an hour. And if it is for safety reasons, and the experts have indicated that, then you know, it's hard to argue. However, are we doing any kind of verification on the other end to make sure that this was the right decision? Like if it feels like, yes, there's so much more traffic, but at the same time, it feels for some people, it is a huge drop from 80 to 60. Why wasn't 70 considered? Like I'm just wondering, and also if we could go ahead, will there be opportunity to review this in the future and like a year or two to make sure that we've made the right decision?
Before you respond, CEO, I want to talk about Greenfield Road that went down to 60. So I'm driving Greenfield Road. A truck comes behind me doing about 100. Gets one of the big trucks gets right on my bumper and keeps the air horn on all the way into the complex. Blowing the air horn at me for a good couple of kilometers while he's trying to do over 100 behind me on a 6 road. Then today, I found 3 trucks doing over 100 on Greenfield Road. So if I make any comment, it's that I don't care what the speed sign is, people are doing what they want. And I'd rather see a raised hump with the painted fluorescent yellow, so that they light up at night when you're driving. I would rather see that over lowering the speed, because I don't think they're paying attention to the speeds. And God help you if you're doing a speed limit on one of these roads. Now, CEO McNally.
So Madam Mayor, through to Councillor Williams, I do worry about, going up and down in terms of year-to-year reviews. Of posted speed of roads. We did go to a third-party firm that is an expert in the area of road safety. And they apply based on the data that they collected, as well as their field inventory. Attending the site and traveling the road and looking at key factors. They have applied what they call the Transportation Association Canada guidelines for establishing posted speed limits, or TAC guidelines. And these are universally accepted measures or metrics that are used to assess roads from a traffic safety, road safety perspective. And they look at things such as the function of the road, its road geometry, road width, which is looking at the actual paved platform, pedestrian cycling exposure and intersections, which could include also driveway or field entrances onto the road, because obviously it's a potential conflict as vehicles turn or enter onto a road. They assess based on those standards of risk level to each of those attributes. There is a scoring, and based on that analysis, in this case, they believe consistent with the TAC guidelines, a reduction for Cameron Road, a factor of 20 kilometers an hour, 80 to 60 kilometers an hour is appropriate.
Seeing no further questions, you may vote accordingly, folks. Councillor Austin, the motion, please.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Williams, PW report number 18-2025 be received. And that staff proceed with the outline safety plans for the Cameron Road. As included in this report. And that bylaw number 3596-25 being a bylaw. To further amend bylaw number 2559-13 traffic and parking bylaw. To change the speed limit on Cameron Road to 60 kilometers an hour will be enacted. And that upon the execution of this bylaw, staff are to undertake the necessary steps to post the appropriate signage and public awareness campaign.
Those in favor? Okay, it's carried, thank you. Let's do something. Okay, so we are in 17.3. Correct? There's no correspondence, no reports from, I did want to bring up the email about a crosswalk at the North Dumfries Community Complex. If our staff could look into that.
Mayor, it's on the next agenda.
The next agenda,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Okay, bylaws, that is Councillor Overman. Oh.
Yeah.
Did you cross out 17.3?
Yes.
Thank you.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Williams, that the following bylaws be read the first and second time. Bylaw number 3595-25, being a bylaw to amend bylaw number 3534-24, being a bylaw to establish fees and charges for various services provided by the Township of North Dumfries, add new recreation fee for stair riser advertising fee. Bylaw number 3596-25, being a bylaw to further amend bylaw number 2559-13, traffic and parking bylaw to change the speed limit from Cameron Road to 60 kilometers an hour. Bylaw number 3598-25, being a bylaw to assume from Maple Manor Estates, bylaw number 30T-98031, and bylaw number 3599-25, being a bylaw to confirm the procedure of the council on October 27, 2025.
All those in favor? Carried, thank you. And now Councillor Austin, the third final reading of the bylaws, please.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Roman, that bylaw number 3595-25, 3596-25, 3598-25, and 3599-25 be read a third and final time and be signed and sealed by the mayor and clerk.
All those in favor? Carried. And who gets the adjournment? Councilor Williams, you're in your hands.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Osner, that whereas business before this council meeting has been completed at 6:50 PM. And be it resolved that this meeting adjourned.
All those in favor? Carried. Any opposed?